Okay, so I thought I'd take a break from armor farming to continue on knocking out some completions or some map completions for Eternal Defender. So I was doing some testing on between my main account and this account, just comparing my DPS monk, because my little wizard on my main account actually isn't really that much better than this one. They're both 59k. I haven't really spent that much time farming little wizards, so I never really got one, you know, extremely good or anything. So they're both pretty much the same. The only difference is the hero stats between my two monks. And this one is doing 10, just under 11 million per hit. And my main account is doing 14, I believe, 14 or 15 million a hit. So a very small, well, not a very small, but it was a smaller difference than I expected. So that's sort of given me a bit of confirmation or confidence that we should be able to do Ember Mount and Flames of Rebirth with without too much trouble. Now that does mean we won't be running either of these two maps with 4 characters in on the last wave. I think that would be just a little bit too much. You could probably do it, but it would be, you know, a high risk of failure. And because I don't plan on farming either of these two maps, I'm not going to be doing that, unless it's later on down the road when I have higher stats. But just to complete them, I'm not going to be worried about being able to do it with 4 characters in. So I think we'll start with Embermount and do Flames of Rebirth second. So I've not made any upgrades. Well, that's not true. I did level up my Hermit to level 100 so I can equip this Pumpkin Pirate. And I did level up my Huntress to level 83 and equipped this Supreme set on. Just so I wasn't having a harder time than, I mean, yeah, that HP is way better than what it was before, so just so I didn't have to worry as much about my darkness traps when I was doing Infested. Right, I think that's everything. I don't think yeah, nothing else has changed since then, so quick showcase of the stats. I will be speccing everything into tower damage here because I will be partially DPSing the boss with DSTs. We won't be using any minions. And yeah, DPS. Although, yeah, okay, still got that serpent staff on, good. Alright, let's get into it. So I'm gonna want to build these auras pretty far away from the crystal here because I want to be able to buff both these aura stacks with the 4D buff beam. So something like that should be, yeah, we might have to boost it onto the buff beam with another buff beam first, but that should be fine. Are we gonna waste mana here? No, okay. So I'm gonna do a 4DU buff beam. Whoops. 4DU buff beam. Like that. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to upgrade it. That's fine. Yeah, there we go. And then for the first wave here, I'm going to build my Hermit Towers, which is just going to be a Golem and 2 Seed Bomb Towers. So just one facing in either direction. Then a golem. And then we're going to do 4 LTs, and all the rest of the DU is just going to go on DSTs. Yeah. I'm just going to leave the DSTs until the next wave. So for the first wave, I think I'm going to just go on my DPS monk and bring in my upgrader. Or... no, I'll do it. I'll do my jester instead. Or even that feels kind of unnecessary. Yeah, I think we'll just go upgrader. Then the spot you want to be shooting with your serpent staff to get a ton of mana is that spawn down there. Although during the first couple of waves, the mana, or the first wave really, just because there isn't too much spawning, so you don't get don't get much mana. But after the first wave, then you get a ton. Ah, now, okay, I'm gonna want to drop the mana from my tower booster here, since I wasn't careful enough not to spend all my mana. Now we're just going to spend all the rest of the DU on the DSTs. We're going to want to put one... yeah, I think one facing backwards. And then all the DU on forward-facing ones. Back on the upgrader, and yeah, that should be it. Now I do expect it to take little bits of core damage here and there, just because of how small my auras are. And the fact that I'm not using electric auras, it's just something that's gonna happen. We do kind of have to watch out for, what are they called? Harbingers as well. Also, my projectiles are getting affected by the fan. I just noticed that. That is really weird. Yeah, you see if I shoot over the fan, then they just fly up. That's so weird. Scoop up this excess mana here. Again, that should be almost fully upgraded. I think I'll just switch to my Jester now. Or DPS Monk. Let's sit on our DPS Monk, actually. Make killing some of the ogres and harbingers a little better. Let's see, did we upgrade everything? Yep, we did. Nice. So yeah, what I'm expecting is, since the boss is only going to be 3 HP, 3-player scaling, it should be fine to just have DSDs do a lot of the work, and then whatever HP it's left on after the DSTs have been hitting it, I'll be able to sort of clean up with my DPS monk. And although my apprentice stats are, you know, fairly low, I still think with a tower booster in and my builder adept, the builder bonus plus the tower boost should still make a significant impact on the boss's health. And what that's going to mean is that we'll, you know, with one adept in, we'll guaranteed get a staff, which, you know, could be ultimate, and it really only takes one ultimate staff to, you know, get a DPS EV going. That's really all you need. Yeah, there's an ogre over here that likes to get stuck on the, this little rock here. Pretty annoying. But that's what that DST is for, and the C-bomb tower as well helps. Just add in our adept, ready for the next wave. And my monk has stopped shooting. So yeah, the sort of consensus for Ember Mount is that it requires, you know, like really high stats to be able to DPS the boss. But that's with, you know, with just DSTs damaging the boss. If you actually help out a bit with a DPS monk or a DPS EV, the stat requirement lowers tremendously. And then when you do it like I am, with only one adept in, that's also lowering the stat requirement a lot as well. So yeah, sure, you only get one staff, but like I said, just getting an ultimate, any random ultimate Ember Scepter is going to kickstart a DPS EV, and then once you've got that DPS EV set up, you can use your DPS EV for the boss instead of a monk, and that's going to do it way more damage. And that would probably allow you to run the map with 4 players in more comfortably. So the boss spawns sort of in the air right over there. And what that means for me is I'm going to be sort of, well, you'll see anyway, but standing up there with my monk as soon as it spawns in, try and get as much damage in with my little wizard, while the DST is obviously still shooting it. And then the hope is that it does a straight line across the bridge here, and then like hangs out over there, and so I'll be able to stand with my DPS monk up there and still be able to damage it, and by that point it should be dead. But The Phoenix has a bunch of random flight paths. So there's no guarantee you can predict what it's going to do, really. It could spawn and immediately start shooting fire, which would be probably the worst case scenario, because that would mean all my towers would die. And I wouldn't be able to DPS it in time. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'm gonna stand right about here. I'm gonna skip the boss timer with V. Start tower boosting, start hero boosting. Okay, nice. It's doing pretty much what I wanted it to. Except it's... okay, that's fine. Can we get over there in time? We can. This is going very well. There we go. Very nice. Okay, yeah, I mean, that could have gone a little bit better. What could have happened instead is that after it came back, went around here, that it flew straight across here. And if it had done that, then it would have gotten hit by the DSTs more. So, that wasn't the best case scenario. But we still won, so that's nice. And let's see. And we did get an ultimate Ember Scepter. Yeah. Although this has, you know, not great upgrades, not good hero damage, this is still more than viable as a starter DPS Ember Scepter. So you can make a DPS EV with a staff like that, and it'll perform. So I'm going to keep that just in case. Nothing else here is good. A bunch of cursed Ember Quills. Yeah. Alright. So that went pretty well. But yeah, you can kind of see from how long that took to kill that... excuse me. That, that wouldn't be as viable with 4 players in. Which is what you would want to make a DPS EV for. You'd kill the boss a lot quicker with the DPS EV. But then again, all you're getting out of that, because right, you have to use a Tower Boost Monk, you have to use a DPS EV, you have your Builder Adept in, and then you probably are going to want to have a Boost Monk as well, right? Unless your Tower Booster has good hero boost. So, at that point, maybe just running with 3 players in is better. Because either way, what, you're gaining half, you know, 50% chance to drop an Ember Scepter from having an EV in. I mean, yeah, that's probably worth it. Right, next up, Flames of Rebirth, which is considerably easier than Ember Mount. Like, way, way easier than Ember Mount. So the mechanic of Flames of Rebirth is that they're every 20 seconds, a baby phoenix will spawn. And if you don't kill that phoenix in like... oh well, we'll see the timer anyway. But if you don't kill that phoenix in a certain amount of time, then the normal boss phoenix will spawn. And yeah, you obviously don't want that to happen. And that happens every wave. But that baby phoenix has way, way, way less HP. And if my calculations are correct, the little wizard I currently have should be more than enough to deal with it. So we're basically just going to do the same build here. The difference is that I will use less well, basically no DSTs, and the reason for that is because you can't actually damage the baby phoenix with towers. Although towers still target it, you can't kill it. You can't... those towers won't deal damage, right? So there's no point building extra towers for the, for that phoenix to try and DPS it. So I think what I'm gonna do is just a ton of seed bomb towers, honestly. 4 in each direction, maybe? And then a hermit. And then, you know what, we'll even do a shroom tower as well. And then with all the rest of them, the DU, we'll do LTs. Okay, Well, it would be nice to build everything on the first wave, but oh well. Gonna get on our DPS monk, and going to get on the tower booster. So, I think the first wave here should be the most difficult, but after we get through this, it should be pretty easy. And the reason is because you don't have much mana, so your tower boost is going to not last for very long. Yeah, so the baby phoenix spawns over there. So, yeah, let's get started. So as you can see, the fire does a lot less damage from this one as well. Which is nice. So yeah, we just want to get this buff beam upgraded, and then we do need more mana on our... Well, something that can happen is that you just win before the next phoenix spawns if you have a bit higher stats than me. It's got some hero boost, let's try kill it. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, it really doesn't do much damage. That noise is very annoying though, that's for sure. And if you're curious as to my little wizard damage, here it is, just under 60k, or rather just over 59k. And I'm not going to bother upgrading. Actually, what I will do though, is I will build the rest of the LTs. Don't want to forget about that. Okay, thought I'd made sure not to target the buff beam, but alright. It's kind of annoying. Oh no, I still have enough to build the second buff beam. Alright, well we have 4 DU left, so feel free to build another seed bomb tower, I suppose. I'm not gonna bother. But yeah, that's what I would do with that DU. Okay, well, this means I'm gonna have to upgrade the buff beam again. Yeah, that should be fine. So, gonna start the wave. Hero boost. And nice, that killed it. He flew right above me. Okay, so there you see the timer. Now that timer, those seconds actually count down slower than actual seconds. It's 2 seconds for every, like, 1 second that displays. And the nice thing... I wasn't tower boosting. Gotta watch out for the hobs. Want to make sure they don't kill you. Okay, and now he's gonna shoot fire. There we go. Almost died there. So yeah, the way you want to line this up is that right as you kill the phoenix, the baby phoenix, you want to turn off your hero boost. Because the respawn timer for the baby phoenix is basically exactly 20 seconds, which is how long the cooldown is for your hero boost. And obviously you can't reliably keep your hero boost up for the whole wave, especially on the later waves. You probably can with a lot higher stats. But that's not really feasible for me, so I have to turn it off basically immediately. Yeah, like that. You can try turning it off when the Phoenix gets really low, because then obviously at that point you don't need hero boost to kill it. So yeah, it respawns basically right as hero boost comes back up. It's doing its dive attack. So yeah, as you can see, it has a really low HP, so really doesn't take that good of a DPS character to deal with it. It's more about managing your hero boost. Now that ogre is being annoying. How is it not dead? Oh, it's poison immune. So yeah, all the rest of the waves should be pretty straightforward now. Well, they've been pretty straightforward so far anyway, but can be a bit hectic if you sort of lose control, because at the start of the wave you want to be up here, you want to be hero boosting, and you also want to be tower boosting, right? So you kind of have to like activate tower boost, or you probably want to activate... Yeah, you activate tower boost first, then hero boost. Because you're not going to be able to start damaging the Phoenix immediately, right? So there's no reason to turn on tower boost or hero boost immediately. Whereas tower boost could be a lot more risky if you don't have it up. And yeah, with really good stats, you can just kind of ignore the Phoenix for some of the waves, and just because you can complete the wave fast enough without the baby Phoenix even being a problem. Oops, didn't mean to jump down there. So yeah, that path it takes there, where it goes off to the come on. Where it goes off to the left is the preferred path. It can take the right path here, which is a lot more annoying because it obviously will fly out of range. When it flies across this side, you know, you can stay within range over here and even stand over here. But if it goes over that way, you get a lot less damage on it. But if you have a little wizard like I do and a 5k DPS set, that's more than enough to be able to take care of it before it flies out of range. Very nice, and I, again, do not plan on running this map more than once, so I'm not going to bother adding in more characters. Just doing this to get this completed. So yeah, the thing that can, I mean, I mentioned it already, but the thing that really makes this a lot harder is forgetting to stop hero boosting. Because once you get your hero boost out of sync, you know, the boss will fly in and you won't be able to kill it in time. Because you don't have hero boost up, and that can complicate things. So yeah, just get used to immediately stopping your hero boost as you kill the boss, or when you see it on low HP. So I'm kind of regretting not building some DSTs, to be honest. Didn't really need to go that crazy with seed bomb towers. Some DSTs would have been nice. Alright, there we go. And there's our in-game achievement. You don't get the Steam achievement for this one. And you do get the weapons. I believe it's just a random... Oh, I don't remember how they did the weapons on this map. Is it just a random weapon for any character? I find it hard to believe that you get an Ember Scepter from doing this. I think you must just get, like, the sword and something else. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can just get a random Ember weapon from this. In which case, just do this. I mean, well... Nah, maybe doing this isn't a good idea for Ember Scepters. But yeah, you get... all the accessories you get from this map are the highest quality, so they're all capable of being the best accessories you could farm. You also get the shield. You get the shield guaranteed on each character, and then a random other Ember accessory. All right. Pretty fast. And yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. And next time, I think, because now that we've got those two maps off the list, that means we have the 4 Crystalline Resurgence maps, Emerald City, and Poly. You know, let's not really count Pirate Invasion, because we can do that anytime. To get a completion on this map, you just have to get to wave 7, so that doesn't take much effort at all, really. We could do that whenever we want. So really, we have 6 maps left. And the sort of progression from this point on is going to be Emerald City into Poly. Because I need to, or my plan is to get a Goblin Cupid, a Desert Goblin Cupid from the Survival. You get that from beating the Survival. Getting an ultimate one of those, because I know for sure I can solo Poly with just a DPS Monk and a Desert Goblin Cupid. My tower stats are already good enough to deal with the tower building portion of the map, the tower defense portion. All the DPS content I can do with my current Monk and a Desert Goblin Cupid, a decent ultimate Desert Goblin Cupid. Maybe a bit more HP would be nice. But yeah, we should be able to get some upgrades from from... What's the map called? From armor farming. Let's just say that. So yeah. I'll be working on Emerald City next, I think. Because this map is not easy. The thing that... Well, the waves aren't difficult. Getting to the boss isn't difficult, but the boss... The boss is going to be interesting. I think it's just going to have to be DST'd, or maybe a combination of DSTs and seed bomb towers. We'll have to see about that, because that boss just flies so far away from you that you really can't kill it with a DPS character. Not easily, at least. Maybe with like a Huntress or something, with like a really long-ranged weapon. But I don't have access to... I mean, I do have access to it right now, but I am not going to make that character. I have no intention of making a DPS Huntress. So yeah, we'll have to see about that, but that should be what I do next. Oh, actually, no, what I will do next is a dice run, because I have run into the issue of when I want to collect mana and build in wave, this staff is rather pathetic. You basically can't gather mana with this weapon. So yeah, I wanna get at least a decent ultimate dice to be able to collect mana in wave. So yeah, I'll probably do a short video next episode on a dice build. So yeah, that's gonna be it.